All right, today we're going deep, like really deep. We're going to zoom past everything you can see, past the microscopic, and dive straight into the super dense, super powerful heart of matter itself, the atomic nucleus. We're always told that everything, the air, the stars, you, me, it's all made of atoms. But what's really going on inside them? What are these little building blocks actually made of? That's the big question we're tackling today. Okay, so let's start with a picture you probably know. Think of a tiny solar system. Right in the middle, you've got this dense little center called the nucleus, and it's got a positive charge. Then, zipping all around it are these even tinier, negatively charged electrons. And today, we are focusing right on that amazing little core. So what's in there? For a long time, people thought atoms were the smallest thing possible, that you couldn't split them. But turns out they've got this whole inner world going on. So let's meet the real heavyweights of the atom. And here we have it. The nucleus is basically a jam-packed bundle of two kinds of particles. First, you've got your protons. They're the ones with the positive charge. And then you have the neutrons. And yep, just like the name says, they're neutral, no charge whatsoever. Okay, so these two guys, the protons and neutrons, have a collective name, nucleons. Makes sense, right? Because they live in the nucleus. Think of them as roommates, but with very different personalities, especially when it comes to their charge. Let's get a closer look. And really, it's this one simple thing that makes them different. A proton has a charge of +1. A neutron, a charge of 0. And this is super important because all that positive charge from the protons is the force that holds the whole atom together, keeping those negative electrons from flying off. Okay, but check out the mass on this table. This is where it gets crazy. If we say an electron has a mass of 1, look at the protons and neutrons. They're almost 2,000 times heavier. What does that tell you? It means that pretty much all the weight, all the stuff of an atom is packed into that ridiculously small nucleus. So we've met the particles, but how do we talk about them? Well, scientists came up with this really elegant, simple code that lets you describe the nucleus of any atom. And once you learn it, you can basically read the blueprint for any element. First things first, we have the proton number. We call it Z. This is literally the atom's ID card. If it has 1 proton, it's hydrogen, period. If it has 6 protons, it's always carbon. You change the number of protons, you've got a whole new element. It's that important. All right, next up is the Nucleon number, which we call A. This one's easy. It's just the total number of protons and neutrons added together. Since they're the heavy particles, this number tells you the atom's mass, which is why, you guessed it, it's also called the mass number. So, get this, with just those two numbers, A and Z, you can figure out everything you need to know about a nucleus. If A is the total and Z is just the protons, well, a little bit of simple subtraction tells you exactly how many neutrons are in there. Let's try a real one. Let's decode lithium-7. Okay, so its nucleon number, A, is 7, and its proton number, Z, is 3. So we just do the math. 7 minus 3 is 4. It's that easy. A lithium-7 atom has 3 protons and 4 neutrons. Done. And of course, scientists have a shorthand for this. It's called nuclide notation. It looks like this. You take the symbol for the element, like Li for lithium, then you stick the big number, the nucleon number A, on the top left, and the proton number Z goes on the bottom left. So for lithium-7, it looks just like that. Okay, up until now, we've been talking about atoms that are perfectly balanced, the same number of positive protons and negative electrons. But what happens when that balance gets thrown off? Well, that's when things get really interesting. That's how you get charged atoms. And this new charged atom has a special name, an ion. Now, an ion isn't a new element or anything. It's just an atom that's not neutral anymore. And honestly, this idea of charge is behind almost all of chemistry. We're talking everything from batteries to how your brain sends signals. And here is the absolute key point. Only the electrons can move. The protons are locked away deep inside the nucleus. So if an atom loses an electron, it suddenly has more positive protons than negative electrons, and it becomes a positive ion. On the flip side, if it gains an extra electron, now it's got a negative charge. So let's recap. Change the protons, you get a new element. Change the electrons, you get an ion. But wait, there's one more piece of the puzzle we can mess with, the neutron. And this is where we get into the really cool world of isotopes. I love this idea. Think of isotopes as atomic cousins. They're part of the same element family, right? Because they have the exact same number of protons. That's their identity. But they have a different number of neutrons. That means they weigh different amounts, and that little difference in weight can make them act in completely different ways. Hydrogen is the perfect example to show this. Check it out. All three of these are hydrogen. Why? Because they all have one proton. But regular old hydrogen has no neutrons. Add one neutron, and suddenly it's called deuterium. Add another one, and now it's tritium. See? Same element, just different weights. All right, let's do a super quick rundown of our nuclear toolkit. You've got your nucleons, that's the protons and neutrons. The proton number, Z, is what defines the element. The nucleon number A is the total mass. An ion is a charged atom because it gained or lost an electron, and an isotope, same element, just a different number of neutrons.
And this isn't just stuff for a textbook, you know? These isotopes have massive real-world applications. That deuterium we mentioned, it's used to make something called heavy water for nuclear reactors. And a special isotope of carbon is exactly how carbon dating works, letting us figure out how old ancient artifacts are. It just goes to show you, a single tiny neutron can literally change everything. Makes you wonder, what other secrets is the nucleus hiding?